What's up, everybody? It's been a while. Let's go Hollywood here. Today we're going to talk about a deck that I've been waiting to play for so long. Oh my gosh. Goblins. Now, I've had a couple weeks off. I had a bunch of stuff going on in my personal life. Work was really busy. I did a bunch of house renovations. So I've gotten 2 days in the last 2 weeks to play, and this is the deck I've played. Goblins has become, in my opinion, the #1 creature deck in the historic format. Goblins, to me, has replaced Gruul Aggro. Why? Because of a new card that come out in Jumpstart, Muxless Goblin Grandee. Oh, I just cut one out. Anyways, Muxus Goblin Grandee says, when it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 6 cards of your library, put all goblin creature cards with converted mana cost 5 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Rest on the bottom of your library in random order. That part's not really relevant. When it attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end turn for each goblin you control. With Muxus, you have the ability to win the game on turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, turn 6, whenever it enters, but as early as turn 3. The thing is, though, it's not completely overpowered by that ability, because you can miss and bring in 0 goblins with it. How does it win on turn 3? Well, it requires a lot of help. It requires cards like Skirk Prospector that you can sacrifice other goblins to make red mana. So a turn 1 Skirk Prospector, followed by a turn 2 Goblin Instigator, which makes a goblin as it enters. So now you have 3 goblins. That equals 3 mana. On turn 3, you play a mountain, you sacrifice all the goblins, tap your mountains, and play Muxus. So when Muxus hits, cards that it needs is a Krenko Mob Boss. Krenko says, tap to create X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens where X is the number of goblins you control. To be able to tap that, though, the turn it enters, you need a Chieftain that has haste, gives your other goblins +1/+1, but gives your goblins haste, or a Goblin War Chief. The Chieftain's better because the Chieftain pumps the tokens, giving them +2/+2, and any combination of Krankos, Chieftains, and other goblins, maybe some Instigators. I've done roughly mid-20 damage multiple times with it. Let's check out some of the other cards in the deck, though. Conspicuous Snoop. Conspicuous Snoop for 2 red is a 2/2. Play the top card of your library revealed. You may cast goblins from the top of your library. And as long as the top card of your library is a goblin, it has all activated abilities of this card. So your Snoop can play extra cards off the top, letting you hold goblins in your hand. One thing I've done a lot is Skirk Prospector on top, being able to use the Snoop and that ability to create extra mana to get out early Muxus. Wily Goblin, when it enters, creates a treasure token. You can sacrifice the treasure to get an early Muxus. You can sacrifice the Wily Goblin to a Skirk Prospector. The card by itself is really weak, and probably one of the weaker cards in the deck. It has a lower synergy than the Goblin Instigator, for example. We're playing Interaction. So I tried a bunch of different configurations. I was taking cards in and out and trying to figure out what I liked. And you do want at least 2 Gen Palm Incinerators in the list. There are cards that completely shut this deck down. Hushbringer is one of them. Blue-white is really big. I'm not sure exactly what the deck is called because I've been away for so long, but it involves enchantments, and Hushbringer alone can just completely ruin your day. Goblin Matron. Goblin Matron says, when it enters the battlefield, search your library for a goblin card, reveal a card, put in your hand. So it's like having 6 Muxus in the list, but also it can grab you a Chieftain to pump your creatures if you need, a Krenko. It's just utility. You don't want more than 2. I tried to go up to 4 because I wanted to find Muxus as quick as possible, but there's honestly no room for more than 2 copies. Every card in this deck has a specific role to play, and when you grab the card, it only goes to your hand. So you can't, for the most part, play out two creatures at once. So having two is great. Grabbing a Prospector if you need mana, whatever. Chieftain we talked about. I have 3 copies in. I will go up to 4 copies when I get one more wild card. The card is really, really good for the deck. Goblin War Chief is another really important card. Goblin spells you cast cost 1 colorless less to cast. Goblins you control have haste. So with the synergies of that, it's 1 less, 1 colorless less, so not 1 mountain less. So the cut I will make is a Wily Goblin. I will trim 1 Wily Goblin for 1 Goblin Chieftain. We're playing 2 Chain Whirlers. It's great in the mirror match. 3/3 first strike. You've been playing against it, playing with it for a long time now. You know what it does. And those are the cards. So the mana base is a little... it's different from player to player. This is what I like. 1 Phyrexian Tower, only 1. Phyrexian Tower just allows you to cheat out some of your higher casting cost creatures a little quicker. You can sacrifice a token, generally what you want to do, to add double black. You're not playing black, but it's adding double colorless. We're playing 2 Castle Embereth. This could easily go up to 4. Again, it's one of those things where I only have 2, and so there's 2 in the list. You are kind of a go wide strategy at times, a lot of times, so having 4 is probably something you want to look into, being able to pump all your creatures +1/+0, and then 22 mountains. So we have 25 lands. You want 25 lands because you want to be able to potentially hard cast Muxus for 6. There will be times, especially against heavy removal decks, where you need 6 mana. You will not be able to ramp into this card. So having 25 lands is kind of the sweet spot. The sideboard's really interesting. The sideboard fluctuates from list to list again, but this is what I have come to. 3 Graph Digger's Cages. Sacrifice is a big deck. Cat Oven combo, in and out, in and out, in and out. Uros, any escape cards. Graph Digger's Cage is kind of the card of choice for me. Goblin Crater Maker to destroy colorless non-land permanents, which is great against cards like Ugin or Ovens, artifacts. Even be able to do 2 damage by sacrificing it can be relevant in time just to get that final little punch. I play 1 more Gen Palm Incinerator. Again, there's annoying creatures out there that you need to kill. Runaway Steamkins, Hushbringers, Mayhem Devils from the Sacrifice deck, whatever. Another Goblin Chain Whirler, again for its utility. So Goblin Rune Blaster is a great sideboard card for this list. I bring it in against Field of the Dead, and I bring it in against any 3 color style deck. Being able to take them off a land and screw around with their mana base. I have 1 Legion War Boss. It's for control. Control can be a little tricky, or removal heavy decks, because they're playing a lot of sweepers, so when you're trying to spit your hand out as fast as possible and they board wipe you and you get into a top deck mode, you are at a huge disadvantage, especially because they have card advantage, you know, through planeswalkers, whatever it is. Legion War Boss is a card that comes down 3 and starts pressuring them, so they have to deal with it. Generally, against control, you want to hold on to your Muxus as long as possible and wait till the right moment to really close out the game. So War Boss is a great card to put out early that they just need to deal with. 2 Goblin Ringleaders, again against control. It's going to fill your hand back up if it resolves and allow you to play on to keep pressuring your opponent. And 1 Goblin Trashmaster. I bring it in against control as a Lord, so your go wide strategy, it's something they do have to deal with, and depending on the build, it has sacrifice a goblin to destroy target artifact. So that's the sideboard, that's the deck. Hope you all enjoy it. Let's check out some matches. Okay, Muxus, ramp, let's go. We're on the play. Let's see this deck go nuts. We haven't got to have like a turn 3 Muxus win the game, so let's do this. Blue. Mono blue potentially, or... Okay. What do I want to do here now? I don't want to sacrifice a goblin just yet. Or do I? Do I just want to kill this? Before they can Curious Obsession it? Or actually, hold on. Let's make sure we get our damage in first. Oh, they're thinking about trading. Sure. That is a-okay with me. Keeps them a turn off. Be nice if they play 2 more creatures so we can Chain Whirler. Not going to, sure. Play War Chief, they want to counter it. No counter. Well, they'd have to kill both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's attack. We're the aggressor. If they want to flash anything and trade off here, whatever. It just keeps them a turn behind constantly. If we don't do anything, then they establish board presence. Okay. A block. Sure. Oh, this is going to be awesome. We're just going to get to wipe the board. I think they might want to bounce it. If they bounce it, we're just going to recast it. Definitely not going to pump it, so we can recast it. So we have to know that they have a counter spell though, like they've just been playing their creatures out. Countering our Muxus is really bad for us though. It's gonna be hard to catch them tapped out again. But we are winning the damage race as is, so I'm not like overly worried. They have 2 cards in hand. They have to have a counter spell, right? Like, there's just no way they don't. They've missed land drops. Okay, apparently we're hitting all the land drops. 2-turn clock. Five, 6, 7, 8. Okay, counter that. Yeah. Unless they pay 4. So we still need 2 more land. They're going to be dead before then. Cool. Molly Moon, how's it going? I am trying to figure out the best configurations for goblins. We've switched a lot of cards in and out, and we have 1 win so far. So with the current list, what's going on with you? Okay, let's just start going a little bit wide here, getting some mana. I'm actually not going to attack. Well, do I want to trade off with this, or are we racing? The thing is, if they play another, if this person's playing a Hushbringer, then I'd rather this be dead. I don't think I'm willing to trade the Prospector just yet, so we'll go no attacks. Ah, Jesus. Luckily, they have to pay mana for that. So we're actually going to get to kill this frickin' thing. Another Gen Palm Incinerator. Yes, I would love to do 2 damage to the Hushbringer. Ooh. Ooh. There's a Muxus. We could... Let's go Instigator. Next, attack the Goblin. Mr. Wiley. Get in there, Mr. Wiley. Alright. Okay, good. No more Hushbringer. Core Spirit Dancer's fine. Can we... Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cycling this is a little risky. They're missing a land drop? Then they're... Yeah, okay, good. You're super dead. I'll sacrifice you, Mr. Goblin. I'll sacrifice you, Mr. Goblin. And I'll probably just have to sacrifice you, Mr. Goblin. Good hits, good hits. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Boom. You're dead. No blocks. Sweet. They missed a land. So that was our turn 4 because we missed a land. So turn 4 kill. Gen Palm Incinerator was needed. It was extremely silly for me to take it out. I like having 2. I don't know if more than 2 is where we want to be. 2 is definitely, like, yeah, I think 2 is the sweet spot. Kranko was nice there. Kranko just allowed for that, you know, that kill with the haste. We go first. Turn 1, turn 2. Yeah, let's roll it. Things are looking up. Oh, and there's the Muxus. Yeah, baby. So we're getting out the Instigator this time now. Probably a mirror match. If it is, turn 3 Muxus. Let's go. Play a Snoop. Oh, dirty. Dirty. Not mirror match. Luckily, we got some mana coming out. Let's get the Snoop Dogg going. We're going to War Chief into Instigator, and then we're going to go wide, so... yeah, that's fine. Going wide, baby. Okay, so we have lethal 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They have to kill something. Bone Daddy. Nice. Prospector. Prospector's great. Just so good. Alright. You dead, opponent? Come on. Kia! That was the worst possible frickin' garbage ass. Like, really? Man, that sucked. Like, so much. I mean, if they play out Bone Crusher, okay, sure. 2 spells to kill Muxus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They can't play out a blocker. They're at 3. Blocker. Oh, that's super risky. Good for you for getting it. Okay, let's go Muxus. Can't be as bad as last time. Like, it just can't. There's no way. I do have 4 in the deck, so... it's a little better, I guess. No haste, though. No, we just want to go wide. I don't think it's worth it to sacrifice anything. Okay, 3 wins in a row. That's a lot better. Let's see if we can get 3 more. Prospector, Wiley. We got a little bit of removal. Not great. Draw is really hot. We're definitely keeping it. Okay, Kethis combo. There's an instigator. What do we want to do here? Probably let's go wide because if they're gonna just go for Kethis, then we want to be able to incinerator it. Okay, nope. This is a breach deck. Jeskai breach. We're racing. So really need to draw something live here. We're not dead yet. They're gonna have to play out a couple things still. 3, 4, 5. Shock. Yeah. It's annoying, but oh look, another one. I am gonna play Chain Whirler. We just want to get the pressure. There's no point in holding it. Swings for 3. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that was an awesome whiff. They do still have 2 mana here. Whipple-de-flip. Yeah. That trades off, but Emery blocks, so we're definitely going to Gen Palm Emery here. Yes. 6 to you, please. Okay, Snoop allows us to look deeper. We're drawing a land, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll just hold the Prospector back anyways because we can kind of combo off with Prospector and Snoop. So they want to trade that off. 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 7. So we have lethal represented next turn. They have 1 turn. Okay, so they're going for it. Or no, they're just trying to blast a couple things. They have no graveyard. I guess they're going for it. They're seeing what Emery hits. Oh, that's kind of annoying, but no other Amber, so they're dead. They got 2 blockers, I guess. Plus exile 3, so what do they have? They have 6. Okay, so they're gonna recast the Emery. Oh, they have another Mox in their hand. Okay, okay. Sphere, Aluris. They have 5 cards still. Another Amber. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. If they combo off here, like... they just need to die. Just die. 2 cards, like, what could they possibly do? 1 mana, draw card. Like, they got 1 card in hand and 1 mana. They can technically have 2 mana. Boom. I just hate that deck. That deck sucks. People probably say that about Goblins, but you know what? I'm playing Goblins today, so I love Goblins. Okay, 2 more wins. Opponent goes first. Yeah, this hand is not good. I've kept a lot of hands, but I'm not keeping that one. I'm going to get rid of the Instigator, even though we have the Prospector. Well, I kind of regret that a little bit now, but lands are better than having to sacrifice your creatures. You do technically want to have creatures in play. You know, oh, there's a Muxus. We're gonna go. Ah! Get out of here, fool! Why didn't I get... What? I'm so confused. Did they not give me a win for that last one? I needed 2 more. We had 3. Oh no, 4, 5. Yeah. We need 1 more. Alright, I got a little excited there. 1 more, let's go. Wow. Turn 3 Krankos, we're gonna go for it. Irritating Chemist. We'll see if this is Mono Red Wizards, which I would love to build. Probably Sacrifice. Ugh. Okay, well, that was a good mill their shit out. I'm A-okay with that. Matron gets us to Muxus. Now the question is, do I want to get Kranko down and just start, you know, cranking out Goblins? Okay, mill a bunch of... Ooh, Obliterator. Well, I'm way more okay with Cauldron Familiar than an Obliterator. Okay, not as much now. That's super annoying. What do we want? And when do we want it? Yeah, let's just get Cranko out. We don't have haste, and I'm just gonna wanna, yeah, get Goblins going. The Matron might actually go and get a Chieftain, so do your little draining. Oh, they're Jund. Really, you're Jund and you're playing Obliterator in your frickin' deck? Yes, I will block, thank you. Are you playing Shocks too? Like, what the frick? Okay. What are we doing? Matron. Matron just has to get Muxus. We have enough lands here, like... Kranko's just gonna start making tons of Goblins. We are still 2 lands away from casting this, though. Or 1 land away, 2 turns, sorry. Yeah, boom. Can't beat Kranko. There we go. Sweet. There it is. Goblins is amazing. Got to rank up. Tier 3. Haven't played in for forever. Just glad that we got to do that. We did it in, 10 wins. Playing around. Let's just quickly look again at the deck list. Like always, Moxus is the primary card. You are winning through this card most of the time. Not always, not necessarily. We did go wide with Kranko. Moxus can miss out. It is limited. It's not necessarily completely broken. It's just really, really good. We tried taking out the Gen Palm Incinerators to go more Matrons to try to get Moxus out as quick as possible, but decks without interaction aren't good enough. The cards cost too much to get out unless you can combo off and win the game on turn 3, turn 4 consistently, which I was hoping we could try and do. It just didn't work. Our opponent played a Hushbringer, shuts down our whole deck. We have no way to deal with that. So having 2 is kind of the sweet spot. You draw too many and you're not really doing your combo thing. Like you are kind of an attack combo style deck. Chieftain helps go wide. Chieftain's great with Kranko. Chieftain just pumps all your other little Dorcases. Chieftain's good. I only have 3. As soon as I get another wild card, I'm 100% crafting a 4th. What would I cut? I would honestly probably cut one Wily Goblin. Wily Goblin is probably the weakest card in the deck. It might be Instigator as well, actually. I mean, just 2. It goes a little bit more wide, which is kind of the game plan with stuff like, Lord's Pumping and Skirt Prospector. So it could be Wily Goblin. It's one or the other. I'll try with both. I'll see what I like, what I don't like. I like having 2 Goblin Chain Whirlers. We didn't play that many mirror matches, but it is amazing in the mirror match, being able to kill a bunch of 1 toughness creatures. And just the fact that it's 3/3 first strike, it just pushes damage. Having the tower, again, having 1 of is fine. I don't know. It allowed us at one point to cast an earlier Muxus, which makes it good enough, right? I've seen people play 2. I don't like 2. Having 2 is bad. It's legendary. 1 is fine. Don't go over that. I was down a land, so I was kind of short on lands. I think this is a 25 land deck. Muxus without ramp costs 6. That 100% does happen. So having enough land to be able to hard cast this is very, very important. 2 Krankos, like I said, good. The Snoop, actually, a card that doesn't seem amazing on its own, but like it actually does so much. There was times where we used it like a prospector. I've had matches where people bounced cards on top of my library, like Chain Whirler, and I was able to replay it and take some of their stuff out. Snoop is really good. So overall, I like the deck. We actually, after configuring this exact list, got 6 wins in a row. So this list is extremely, extremely close. Like I said, 1 more Goblin Chieftain is probably where you want to be. But yeah, deck's great. I highly, highly recommend it. With all the bannings that are going on right now, it's almost like Wizards, I don't know, doesn't know what's going on. I've heard from a lot of streamers, Jeff Hoogland will be one to say and, criticize them for some of their actions. It takes them a little longer to figure things out. People are always quick to jump on cards that are really good. Muxus, like I said, is really good. Yes, you can potentially win the game on turn 3, but it takes a lot of things to go right to be able to do that. I don't think this deck is overpowered. I think if you're playing decks with sweep effects, this deck has a very hard time, or just something with a lot of removal. Control being one of those. But as your premier creature deck and a tribal deck, this deck is so much fun, and I can't wait to play it again. So with that, thanks everybody for joining. See y'all next time. Peace!